Alright, what's going on? So you had questions about the Piecemaker 2 and how to set it up on the Enjin website. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This page right here is basically the Piecemaker 2 download, as you can see. I'll go ahead and send a link along with this video of how to, just to download the source files. So basically download the Piecemaker 2. If you have a WordPress, there's a WordPress version for it. However, I'm not going to be covering that since this is going to be for Enjin. Alright, so I've got my Piecemaker 2 downloaded. It's right here under Piecemaker Legend, and I've already opened it up. And so once you open up Piecemaker, you'll see that there's going to be three files: a documentation, a flash, and a web file. Documentation basically gives you a whole, a debriefing of what you can change within the Piecemaker. Flash is just all the like transitions and all the flash stuff, effects. I didn't touch that. So you guys probably should touch that unless you know what you're doing. Web is the only thing that you really have to edit. Once you go into the web folder, there's gonna be four types of files. You're gonna have a HTML file, a CSS file, a SWF file, and an XML file. And then also along within the web file, you have a contents folder, which is the preview, the picture previews, and the video and the flash preview. And then you also have a scripts, which comes with the express install .swf, and also a swf object.js, which is JavaScript file. So if we open up index.html, I'm gonna use Notepad. I've already opened it up. So here's the HTML. I'm using Notepad right now just because some of you don't have Dreamweaver, and I'm just going to be showing you how to edit it with Notepad. So basically, if you open up a Notepad, you'll get all this. I know there was some stuff within the body. It had like a title. I just deleted that, and then there was also like a title tag at the top. I also deleted that. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you what's going on. So within let me make this small. There we go. Oh, not like that. That's fine. Okay, so as you can see, you have a piecemaker.css that's linked to this right here within the HTML. You have a piecemaker.swf that's linked to here within the HTML. You have a piecemaker.xml, which is linked to here within the HTML. And then you see how there's a swf object.js that's also linked to here within the HTML. It's at the very top script. So I'll show you how to link it later on when we're importing this into Enjin. But anyways, let me go ahead and explain this. So the SWF basically covers the transitions and basically the slider. You can change the numbers here and there. You can also, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you have a piecemaker.css, which is right here. The only thing that the CSS really edits is not that one, is the let me stop that. So the only thing that the CSS will edit is the info section, which is basically this text right here. So you can change the text to be, some other kind of text. You can change, you can set it to where links are blue, and if you hover over a link, underline will appear underneath the link. Or if you want to do something else, whatever, create a list, you can do it within here, and the CSS will edit how it looks only within the info box or the description box. So let's go back to the HTML. The only thing that you are going to be heavily editing at first is just going to be the XML file, because that's where you will be able to change you know, the pictures, videos, and also the transition effects and the colors and whatnot of the buttons and anything else. So if we open up the Piecemaker with Notepad also, as you can see, or I have it open, that's fine. As you can see, I've spaced it out. We're gonna worry about the contents for right now. Let's focus on this. I'm gonna go ahead and explain it. So you got an image source, you got an image tag. So it says image source is equal to the location of the first picture, which is Piecemaker 1.png, which is underneath the contents. So if we came to contents, the Piecemaker 1.png is right here, so it's this blue one. And you also have the title, and then it ends the image. And then this is a more complex image. All of this right here is, come to the site, it's basically, you have an info section, which is the text, and then you also have a link, which will link you to wherever, to, you know, whatever other site that you have it linked to. So you got a text, then you have basically h1/h1, which is basically this. It's basically that. And then this is the title, and then right here it's basically like a break. And then also you have the actual description, and then it has a link, and this is all within the picture. Now when using the Piecemaker 2, you can display images, flash files, and also videos. So for example, if you do work with Flash and you do know how to make a Flash animated picture, I'm not very good at Flash, trust me, I really suck. But if you do know how to do that, you can link it using the Flash source, and then the source is linked to that Flash file, and you also have a title, and then the image source within it is basically the background. I believe if you just, you know, clear it, what it does is just basically I think it just whatever color of the blocks, that's what's displayed in the background. So anyways, you have an image source again right here, which is the same thing as the first one. Then you have a video source. Now for the video source, you can use you know, videos from like Dailymotion or like YouTube, or you can even have some from like, I don't know, some other blogging site. It's really up to you. You just make sure just make sure you have to link the file in the source section, and then you have the title for the video, and then you have a width and a height, and then autoplay set to true, meaning that it will play automatically, and then also have a background image for it, and then it closes off the video. So I mean, it's up to you if you really want to use the video source. If you want to do like promos or something like that, that's fine. But I'm not going to use that, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. And I'm also not going to use the Flash because I don't have any Flash files on me at the moment. So we'll come in, I'll leave it like that. You save, or you press Ctrl S to save it. So now let's go ahead and tackle the settings. So the settings, let me go ahead and just space that out. So the settings is its own thing. So image width is the whole container of the box. This all the way from starting from the left right here all the way to the right, that's how long the slider will be. The image height is basically how tall the slider will be. And then we got a loader color. A loader color is basically take for example, when it loads in, let me give it a sec. As you can see, if you didn't see how the bottom had gray boxes, if you were to take this, it's basically like a hex code, except 0x is the number sign, or the I forgot what it's called. I just say number sign. So it's basically a number sign, and then you have 33333. So 0x acts as the number sign. If you were to set it to like 000, you know, black, all zeros is black. If you were to set it like that, you would see that when it loads up, those bottom gray boxes that you could see would be just pure black. And I prefer to have it where the loader color and also the inner side color are the same, just because like it kind of doesn't make sense in a way, but it's up to you. Whatever color you want to do it, that's fine. So I'm just gonna change it to pure black. There you go. And then also the inner side colors is basically, if I'm changing, as you can see, I already set it to black on the Piecemaker for my clown's website. You can see how it's black, right? The inner side color is basically that, the inner side color of the blocks. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna set that to black as also. And then you got a side shadow alpha of 0.8. What that is basically the opacity of the side shadow. Oops. So I believe that's I can't really remember. I do know for sure that this drop shadow is this, you see this black box underneath that gives it sort of a 3D effect. You can change the opacity of it. You can change it to like 0.2 if you really want to, or you can just keep it at 0.7 normal settings. And then the drop shadow distance is basically the distance from the box to the it's from the shadow to the box is the distance. And then drop shadow scale is the scale of it. And then you also have a drop shadow blur, is how blurry it is. And then you can set the blur of X and then the blur of Y, which is basically, you see how it blurs more to the sides but not towards. If you think of it as the X and Y axis, you see how on the X axis, as soon as it sort of goes off to the sides, it blurs more than blurring on the Y axis. That's the drop shadow blur X and drop shadow blur Y. Menu distance by 20 and menu distance Y by 50 is basically where this will be displayed, I believe. And then also you got menu color, which is the color of menu color, and then menu color 2, menu color 3. You play around with the colors, I believe. Let me see. Let me just play around with this. Alright, let me go ahead and open this up. Nope, did not work. What did I do wrong? Oops, no, not that. Anyways, I'll figure it out later. Control size is the controls of these little buttons right here. Those are the little buttons. And then also control alpha is how, you know, the opacity, control alpha over the opacity also. Oh, I'm sorry, no. The control size, control distance, control colors and opacity. The control alpha over is basically, you see how these buttons appear? These are the controls to play, link, or the info. You see how I hover over the actual slider, it's like set to opacity of 80%, but as soon as I hover over actual buttons, it turns to opacity of, you know, 0.90% or 0.9. And then you also have where they will be located on the x-axis and also where they will be located on the y-axis. Controls align is in the center. Tooltip height, tooltip color, tooltip text, and the tooltip P italic, tooltip text color, tooltip margin left, margin right, blah blah blah. Okay, hold on, let's start this. So the tooltip height is basically, as you can see, you see how it says Renegade Craft? You see this little tooltip that comes up as I hover over, you know, one button or another. The height is basically how tall this tooltip is. Tooltip color is what color it is, the background, I believe, right? Tooltip. Yes, tooltip color is the background color. Tooltip text Y is where it will be located in the y-axis, so it's set to 5, so that's basically center, dead center. Tooltip text style is italic, meaning, as you can see, the text when you hover over the tooltip, or when you hover over the buttons, the tooltip text is italic. Tooltip text color is the color of the text, of the actual text in the tooltip. Tooltip margin left, tooltip margin right, and then tooltip text sharpness, basically where it's going to be aligned. You see how there's margin left and margin right, where the text is displayed, and also sharpness of the text. And then tooltip text thickness is set to -100. Keep it like that, looks clean. Info width, okay, now we get into the info. So this is the info, all of this up to here is info. So info width, if I were to hover info, it's just this white block. So info width is how wide this info block will be. As you can see, I set it to 400. The info background color, I set it to white, as you can see, but it has a alpha, or has an opacity of 95% or 0.95. So as you can see, you can kind of still see that, you know, GADE and then part of the C in the background. And info margin is basically it's like set in the middle. That's where it will begin the text. Info sharpness is set to 0. Info thickness is set to 0. Basically, if it's bold or not and how sharp it is. Autoplay is 10, which is basically I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure they have this in the documentation. Field of view is also in documentation, set to 45 at an angle 45. Alright, so we're done with settings. You can mess around with a lot of the stuff, and you have your transitions. Now the transitions, you can mess a lot with. You can add transitions, you can take away transitions. There's other transitions that you can use instead of the ease in out back, ease in out cubic, and ease in out elastic. There's some other ones that you can use if you do know them. Use them. You have a transition. So basically, it's going to be broken up into let's see, 1, 2, 6 parts. So transition pieces. Transition pieces is basically when the picture is ready to change to the second or to the next picture, when it's transitioning, transition pieces means that that picture will be broken up into 9 blocks. Since it states here it's going to be broken up to 9 blocks. The time it's going to take for it to complete is going to be 1.2 seconds. The transition effect is going to be using an ease-in out back. The delay between the transition is going to be 0.1. The delay between each effect is going to be 0.1. The depth offset is going to be 300, and then the cube distance is going to be 30. So depth offset is basically, if you think of it as a z-axis, if you don't know what the z-axis is, it's basically there's a XY, and once you start getting to like 3D, if you played around with 3ds Max or Cinema 4D, notice there's a z-axis. Z-axis is like the depth perception. So it's basically a depth offset is how much is going to move back, and then the effect or the transition will play. And then the cube distance is basically the distance between each cube as it's rotating or performing that transition. So if you take for a second all this, you can see it's going to be broken up into 15 pieces. So that's the second one. So if we go to the second, let's see, let's find it. Alright, so you see how it's broken up to 15 pieces? That's what it is right there. So it's going to be broken up 15 pieces. It's going to take 3 seconds total. It's going to use an ease in out elastic. The delay between each transition is going to be 0.03. It's going to have a depth offset of 200, meaning it's going to move back 200, and then it's going to perform the transition. And then the cube distance between each cube that's sliced is going to be 10. So you can really just mess around with them. You can go up to where it'll cut into like 50. I mean, it's pretty cool to see, but I wouldn't say go for 20, because it does get kind of long after a while. Yeah, so it's up to you. Whatever transitions you want to play around with, go for it. So now that I'm done explaining the XML file, what we can do is actually I'll teach you how to upload this. So I'll go ahead and exit this. So let's say our piecemaker.css and our XML file is all ready and set to go. So what we can do is if we go into your file settings for your site, I'll just make this, I'll create this Piecemaker to tut. There you go. So I'm gonna add alright, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna use the one I already have, since I already did that. So we'll go ahead and use Piecemaker. So it's the same concept. I basically already the CSS, whatever you want to do to change how the info box will look for the text, let's say you set that up already. Let's go ahead and add the CSS one. There it is. So I'm gonna upload that first. Now when you want to where is it? Okay, so when you want to if you don't know, basically the pictures, if you haven't noticed, the pictures are in the XML. So when you want to upload pictures, you actually have to go into the XML file and actually change it, change the image sources for the pictures. So I'm gonna use something really quick. Let me just go here. No, not there. Alright, so if I were to take the image source, let's say this one, I'm gonna copy the image URL. Basically what you would do is you'd come in, it's the same concept. If you have pictures of your own, you want to use pictures that you created yourself, you basically would add that picture, and then you would upload it, and then once it's uploaded, just copy the image link, copy it, press OK, come back into your XML file, and then replace the image source along with the title to fit the picture. So for right now, I'm actually just going to, I already had this set up. So it's basically, all it is basically using the so it's basically replacing the image sources and then renaming titles, editing the text, and then also make sure to link your hyperlink URLs if you do have that, and you can also play around with the transitions and settings. So let's say I've already done all of the changes I want to with my XML. So now if we want to go right here, so let's say I've uploaded the CSS, I've uploaded the SWF, and also also remember to upload the SWF object.js, because in the HTML, as you can see, it has a source right at the top. So you need this to get the Piecemaker to run. So you'd also upload that too, along with XML once you made changes to links. And once you get this going, it's basically I'm just gonna delete this because I have this going. I already have it. So as you can see, I have the Piecemaker.css, the SWF, the XML, and then also have the JavaScript, and then 3 pictures that I created or edited myself. So to get this working, what you want to do is just basically, so I'm going to take the Piecemaker.css one, I'm going to copy it, come in here, you see this right here, just replace the Piecemaker.css with the link, as you can see, and then basically do this for the XML, the JS, and then also this SWF right here. So go ahead and do that. Okay, and then XML file, can't forget the XML, and also the JavaScript file. So if I were to just basically replace that. Alright, so now what we want to do, let me go ahead and explain this. Probably should have explained this earlier, but okay, so when you're dealing with the Piecemaker, you have to think of it as if it's like a slider. It's basically, okay, so it's gonna be kind of difficult. So you have your slider, your Piecemaker image, and then as you can see how when it animates, you can see how it goes out. You also have, let's pretend, if you know, let's not pretend, there's an actual box. You see how I highlight it? There's a box, and that box is set right here. So if I set this to 500, when that's how I highlight over it, it'll only have a width of 500. So basically this will get cut off. So you have to set it when you're dealing with the HTML in here. This is basically the white space that you're giving the Piecemaker to move around within, and then you also have the height that it's allowed to move within, and then 10 is basically, I don't know what this is, I forgot, but 100 and 600 is one of the things you should change. It's the width and then the height. So whenever you're setting the slider needs to be smaller than the width of the white space, because if the slider is bigger than the white space, you'll see that the transition effects will be cut off within the box, so it's gonna look it won't look very nice. So play around with it. That's pretty much it. And then basically, once you have everything set up, let's go ahead and copy it, and go to your modules, go into your HTML. I already have it set here. I believe it's this one. Yeah, so it's basically copy and then paste, and then once you have it pasted in, you can just save the changes and then place it on your pages, one of your pages, like your home page or your any page that you want when you want the slider to appear in. And just go ahead and just wait for the changes, and it's gonna be where you placed it. Now I do warn you though, as you can see, take for example my home page for my clan website. As you can see, I have it placed under the left division, under the body section. As you can see, it's only 750 pixels wide. See, so what I had to do is I had to set the image, the actual slider, to around 600 pixels, and then I set the white space to 750 max, just to give it room to breathe. And then that allowed me to not have to worry about some of the shadows being cut out, or maybe some of the pictures being cut out when it's transitioning. So beware of that. If you're using it on the top home page, or the top section, or the footer section, you don't have to worry about it really, because it's already set to 1000, and that's what this is. The global top, or the top section of your page, or the footer section of your page, is already set to 1000 pixels wide. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found this helpful. There's no need to pay me or anything. I'm just trying to help someone out setting this up. I know this is very, very long, but it's very, very cool also. So that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the video, and you're welcome. See ya.